Howdy, I'm Derek, and today I want to share with you 10 Excel tools I use to automate working with folders and files. Why is this important? Well, we spend a lot of time looking for files and other information, over 400 hours a year according to a McKinsey study. And that's just searching, not the building, the roll forwarding, the renaming, and everything else. I've spent much of my career in the supporting multi-unit businesses like restaurants and retail, where the time just multiplies because of all the locations that we're managing. All right, so let's get started. This first one here is huge. It kills me every time I see people doing this manually. What you're looking at is a list of folders that we want to create. I love using Excel to automate stuff like this because you can use so many great tools to build the list. Copy and paste, find, replace, filter and sort, and of course, formulas. This list of 212 folders that we want to create here is based off of formulas linking back to this one cell. Okay, so if we change that to 2025, notice that everything updates based on that, and teaser, it's going to update the other sheets as well. That's the way I like to build things. Link everything you can to update automatically the values from them. And as you'll see in a moment, other sheets are linked back to this one. It becomes your super reusable template. Now here's how this tool works. I'm going to open up a blank file so you can see. We're going to search for a tool called copy or create subfolders. When we do, it creates a template sheet. Okay, it tells us that, it gives us some instructions over here, and basically you're going to fill out the fields with these headers that have tooltips. Okay, so it creates this. Once you filled in and you run that, it finds that sheet and you filled out, it will process it. Now, to save the time of me having to fill that out, again, let's reuse this effort from something I've done many times before. So we have this, it's been filled in. Now, just to show you what's going on here, here is a list, or here's what the folder looks like now. There's nothing in there. Okay, but when we run this again, okay, well, I'm just going to use a shortcut to run it again. Notice that 212 folders were created automatically. So here's the parent, and within these we have 52 within each of those. Okay, pretty darn cool. Now the next thing I want to do is going to help navigate those. We're going to run one called Auto Nav Shortcuts. Now notice what's in your clipboard. I just copied that from over here. Is going to be the default. Okay, so what this does is it asks you, do you want to create shortcuts for the folder that we supplied in any lower level folders? Now, what I mean by shortcuts, and it does this very quickly, it just made 516 of them. If we go back over here, you'll notice that within it, it created shortcuts like the one below. And then even within those folders, notice how we just click next, next, next. So as soon as you start aggregating files for all those different weekly folders, it just makes it easier to navigate than having to go up, find the next one, go up, because you're scrolling around like crazy and it takes a lot of time. Okay, so pretty cool. Now, maybe we need to make a bunch of file copies. Okay, in this case, we're going to come back over here and we want to create from our copy file. Here's our kind of weekly closing checklist file. We want to create one for each of those weeks. Great idea to use a template all the time, okay? And this makes it so much easier. So just like that last one, when we run it, it's going to create a blank sheet that we can fill in, or if it finds it like we have here, it's going to process it. Now in this case, one thing I don't want you to miss is how linked this is back to that first sheet. We're using dynamic array spilling functions and formulas here. So notice this links back to the first sheet, this one links to column B, creates it dynamically. And that's the idea of reusing your effort. So if we run this one, it's called bulk file copy, okay? It's going to create all of those 208 files automatically. So if we go back over to our folder here, so each one of these is now going to have that exactly named file just like we wanted. This makes it so much quicker to work with files like this. Okay, now to see the output of what we've done, let's say we forgot to rename this just a little bit. Well, we'll look at that in just a moment. But before we do, let's say we want to output from all these folders. What's in them, right? Those shortcuts, the subfolders, the files, etc. Okay, so we can run one called list directory contents. And again, whatever's in your clipboard will be the default. And it'll prompt you, hey, do you want to use any of those subfolders or just that one folder? Because that could take a little bit and it's going to traverse recursively through all of those. Okay, let's align these since we got some dates in here. Notice that we have the file type, we have a link to open that, we have the folder and the folder path just a file, etc. Okay, so if we needed to rename something, I would come over here and filter that to just those Excel files, and now we have all those names that we can use to rename. Okay. Now, I knew this was coming, so we've got this bulk file rename tool that we're going to use in just a moment. Again, it's template sheet driven. So what's our folder path? What's the old file name? And what's the new one? Again, all formula driven, because why not? Notice the word Initech at the bottom or at the beginning of this new file name. Who doesn't love Office space, right? Now we're going to run this one. Now remember, okay, here's an example. When we run this, we do the same thing with Sheets, by the way. It's going to prompt you, are you sure you want to do this? Because renaming files, that might create issues, so use that very carefully, but it does it so quickly. And we come back over here, notice it changed this one and all the other 207 folder files, okay? Now let's switch gears just a little bit, okay? One of the things that saves me a tremendous amount of time is just searching for recent files. Okay, so this next tool is a search box that goes well beyond the built-in tools in Excel. Just type a couple letters and you'll see recent files, or change your date range if you want to here. Now the last 2 years could be 5 or it could be less. I look for the word push. I happen to know that I've got a couple of files that say push up in it. I'm doing this push-up challenge thing. So I can open that very, very quickly. And I would probably need to update this a little bit, so I'll come back and do that once we're done. Okay, but notice how quickly I was able to open and find that file. I can get to almost any file within 5 or 6 seconds because of that. Now, even if you don't remember the name of it, this is one reason I use this in every single file. I will put in the year and then the month and the day in that database date format at the very end of the file for this reason. Okay, I can then traverse back. Notice that's not that many files that month that I worked on, maybe 20 or so. If I don't find it there, well, I'll try 2024-05 and kind of ping pong around where I think I saved that or when I worked on it. Because while you might not know where or what you named it, it's amazing how often we remember the when, okay? Pretty much like that. Now, similarly, okay, if you want to open, say you have a bunch of files in the same folder and you're going to traverse through them. Maybe there are different locations in order or dates in order or people or whatever. This next one will help you do that. Okay, open next file. Now it's going to prompt you, is this the one you want to open? And do you want to open it or do you want to save this one we're in, close it, and open the other one? I'm just going to pick open. Okay, open that in the background. So there's this next file. If we want to do the same thing again, are you sure? Well, here's the next file after that. So if you have a lot of files you're going to traverse through, that is quite helpful. And in somewhat similarly, let's say that we are in this file and we want to open the parent folder that it's saved in. Maybe there's other files we want to reference. Maybe there's something else we want to do with that. Okay, we just run this next tool called Open File Folder, and it does just what we wanted. Like, here's the file that we're working in. Here's all the other stuff that is in there. Very, very quickly. Okay. Now back to bulk management for a moment. If you've ever worked with zip files, you know that can kind of be a pain, especially if you have to make a bunch of them somewhat systematically. This next tool will help you do that. So again, it's based on a template sheet. It'll create this in your active folder. So you're going to say, what's the folder or file to zip? What's the destination path? The zip file name is optional. If not, it'll use the name of the folder file.zip to compress it. So we're going to run this guy, bulk folder zip. You can do the same thing with unzip, by the way. If you have a bunch, you have to unzip. So maybe you're sending these out to people, or maybe you're working with applications that require you to upload zip files. I've done that quite a bit in my career. This is a little slower just because of the nature of what it's doing to zip, but a lot quicker than doing it manually, right? So if we come over here, this is in the 2025 folder. Okay, so there's that one. And let's see, where is our zip folder? Oh, we want to put it in here, don't we? So at the bottom, notice here's all of our zipped files, okay, or folders, whichever way you want to call it. All right, and then lastly, there's a lot of times you want to just copy the active file to your clipboard. Then you might want to make a copy, or you might want to send it to somebody in Slack or Teams, email, upload it, whatever. This next tool actually has a lot of cool copy stuff in it. I call it a picker or a pick list. Option W on this list will let us copy the active workbook to the clipboard. Okay, I'm going to go over to a blank email I've got ready for us. Notice you can just paste it. Now, Windows has recently made this difficult to do that with open files. This kind of has a workaround to make sure that that happens for you. Okay, so a lot of cool things that help you work in bulk, give you some shortcuts, navigate files, etc. 10 folder and file tools that will help you save dozens of hours a year and may just allow you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise have done because it's just so much of a pain. When you work more efficiently with tools like this, it allows you to become an invaluable member of the team and work more efficiently and work on the more fun, more valuable work. All of these tools are included with the XLEV8 Add-in, which has hundreds of productivity tools designed to save you 200 plus hours a year in Excel. To try them all out, just go to the apps section at www.xlevate.co or use the link in the comments below. You'll also find several great templates that will help you get the most out of Excel. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, share it, tag your friends, and of course subscribe so you don't miss out on other fun and cool tools, tips, and tricks. Thanks for watching and have an excellent rest of your day.